everyone, Effie here. Today I'm going to show you how to stamp, color, and die cut our Petite planters set. This is our new 4x6-inch photo polymer set, and it's available with our summer release for pre-order right now. And what's really great about this set is that you have all these clustered images. For example, this plant stamp has 9 images on this one stamp, 2 images for the foliage on one stamp, and then for the mini planters, there are 9 planters on this one single piece. So I'm just going to position all 3 stamps inside my Misty tool, and I'm going to ink them up with our Caviar ink, which is a hybrid Copic friendly ink because we're going to be doing some Copic coloring. So I easily stamped all of these images because everything was clustered together. So this is going to be a really great set for you to mass produce these adorable images. Now let's get coloring. I'm starting off by coloring in the base of the plants with my lightest green marker, which is the yellowish green. And then I'm going to go in with my mid-tone marker, my meadow green, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shading to each of the leaves. Once I finish with this mid-tone, I will go in with my darkest tone, which is going to be the Nile Green Copic marker. When you guys are planning on coloring in these images, 3 Copic markers or 3 shades are not necessary because these images are not that big. You don't have to add that much detail. Honestly, I think I could get away with just coloring the base color for these images and be okay, but I did want to add a little bit of detail because I can. But I think that if you guys are pressed for time or if you're not the strongest colorer, you guys can just go in with the one color as a base and then kind of move on. But if you do want to practice your coloring for smaller images, this is a really great opportunity for you to do so. So here for this beautiful little Monstera plant, I'm going to go ahead and apply the same coloring technique. I colored in the base of the leaf with my lightest marker, and then I'm just going in with the darkest marker and I'm just outlining. I'm just adding a few lines along the outlines, and then my mid-tone marker, that meadow green, I'm just kind of going over the darkest lines to blend them out a little bit. But I'm working very quickly here and I'm not really overthinking it. I'm just showing you guys exactly where I'm placing the shading, and that's why I decided to record the coloring process, just to show you guys exactly where I'm placing my shading. So you guys don't even need the exact Copic markers that I'm using here. Any 3 different shades of Copic markers will do. You don't need the exact colors that I'm using here. For this adorable little cactus, I'm using 2 different shades of green. I use the base and then a darker color for the shading, and then 2 pink colors for the small flowers. You can see I'm just adding couple of dots inside the center of the flower for a little bit of interest. And then for some additional details, I'm going to take a white gel pen and just add a few tick marks inside the cactus, and this is just going to give my little cactus or succulent plant some additional details. Next up is this larger plant in this image or panel, and I'm just applying the same coloring technique. Use the light colored base and then add the darkest shade along the lines, and then use that mid-tone to blend that dark shade out. The coloring process can go very, very quickly because you just need to use the same colors. You don't even need to use different colors like I did for the little cactus. Just use the same colors that you have and just go for it, color it in. For example, this plant, I'm only using 2 colors, the mid-tone and the darkest tone, and I'm not even going to blend anything out. I'm just adding this darkest tone right now, and I'm just adding a little bit of the detail, and then I'm moving on to this awesome little snake plant. Again, use the base for the color and then just add a few flicks here for the details. Let's move on to the succulents. I'm using my R02 Rose Salmon, and I'm just going to add some of the warm colors to the tips of the succulent leaves, and then I'm going to go in with the YG06 and add this base color to the leaves, and then I'm just going to blend everything out with a colorless blender. I apologize for the popping that you hear in the background. Those are fireworks. It is July 4th and I'm recording this, so I apologize for the background noise. I'm going to use my G03. This is the mid-tone green that I've been using, and I'm just going to add the details to each base of the petal or inner petal. Now I'm going to color in the second succulent the same way that I colored in the first succulent. These are smaller images, so don't overthink when you're coloring them in. If you don't have even if you don't have green Copic markers, you can definitely color in these succulents a nice bluish purple tone. I've seen succulents in those colors before, and if you don't have a lot of green colors or Copic markers, you can color in the plants with a little bit of yellow. I have seen yellow plants before, so don't overthink things, guys. Just color, get your coloring therapy in. For these small foliage bits, I am just going to color in the base and then add flicks coming from the inner center portion of each leaf. Now I'm going to go ahead and color in the planters, and I'm just using my E34 to color in that base, and then I'm going to add several shades of gray inside the actual planter bowl. I want the planters to be white with just a little bit of shadows, but you guys do not have to follow the color palette that I have chosen for this video. These are just samples that I am coloring for you guys. And also, one thing to keep in mind, I'm not taking that much care into blending out all of my Copic marker lines. I'm not looking for a perfect blend. It's okay for there to be a little bit of texture and detail inside your coloring. That way, I feel like there's a little bit more interest going on when you do it that way. When things are not perfect, that's what actually draws my eye. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you guys tend to overthink things? Do you tend to fixate on the details and try to blend out every single Copic line to get that perfect blend? I've really learned to just kind of let go and color for my own enjoyment. I'm pretty much self-taught in my Copic coloring. I haven't taken any of those certification classes that Copic offers. I don't even really watch YouTube videos of other people Copic coloring. The only, I guess, piece of advice that I've heeded or have taken is Kathy Rakusin. I think she coined the term color plucking, and I think she just plucks the markers from her stash and then kind of goes with it. I think what that is you don't really go for a set color combination when you're looking to blend. So I kind of was doing that prior to her actually coining the term, and when she came out with that term, I was like, oh, I kind of already do that, but only because I didn't really start out with an extensive Copic marker collection, so I just kind of used what I had. And then once my marker collection grew, it's kind of what I do. I don't really have a set combination. For example, I know some people say, oh, these 3 markers are really great green combinations or pink combinations, but I don't think I ever really use the same combination twice. Or maybe I do, because I don't have I don't have an infinite amount of Copic markers, but I usually just take whatever 3 markers look good to me at the time, a light, mid-tone, and dark, and then I just go with it. I make them blend if I need to using the colorless blending marker, and I just make it work. You don't have to force the blend. You can have texture that is okay. Check out my finished panel, guys. Look how awesome these look. Now, this is the coordinating die that will cut out all of the plant images. This is the die that will cut out all of the planter images. And this die is going to cut out the hanging mechanism die cut. So check this out. All of the dies are going to cut out everything at once. I'm using the Gemini Junior, so this is the smaller Gemini machine. Everything fits in those cutting plates. So you can see, cuts out everything at once. It just makes it so easy to mass produce. These images are not tiny, but they are smaller, and it would have just been a pain in the butt to die cut everything one by one individually. I can't stand that, guys. So check this out. This little die will cut out 3 of these pieces. These are the hanging mechanisms. The stamp set comes with 2 of the stamps, and then what you want to do is, if you want to stamp these die cuts, die cut the hanging mechanism die cut onto like a smaller panel. Keep the negative piece. Place that negative piece inside your MISTI tool. Position your stamps. And then once you have the stamps on your MISTI door, place your die cuts into the negative piece, and you'll be able to stamp these images onto those kind of more narrow die cut pieces. So do this as many times as you need, and you can just kind of glue these together like that. They're so adorable. Now I'm just going to start assembling all of my colored die cuts one by one. And this is the fun part, guys, because you can mix and match the plants with the different planters and just have fun with it. Just have fun with it. I cut off some of the top portions of the planter so that they can fit better with some of the plants, so that it doesn't look like there's a gap between the plant base and the top of the planters. So you can see me gluing the planter hanging mechanism behind a couple of the assembled planters, and check out how cute these are. I created 9 of these using our stamped images. It was so easy to create because you had all the clustered stamps and the dies. It just made it really easy to mass produce. And check out this card base. You could just include a sentiment right beneath that middle planter. And that cover plate that you see is also available with our summer 2021 release. It's our convention cover plate. And this is our 6x8 Lush Plant Set. This stamp here is also a clustered image stamp that you can create 4 small image die cuts really easily with the coordinating die and stamp. This is our Plentiful Planters photopolymer set, also available with this release. Everything is available for pre-order now and will begin shipping on the 16th. Here's another card that I created using our new stamps. What you haven't seen in this video is our cling stamps. So be sure to head over to our blog to check out our new release and for all the pre-order details. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel because I update it regularly.